Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has warned there's a serious danger of nuclear conflict. It comes as U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said Washington's goal was to see Moscow weakened so it cannot attempt a repeat of the war. Well, joining us now is our senior reporter for international affairs, Mark Champion. Mark, good morning to you. So are we seeing potential escalation here in terms of a more direct conflict between Russia and NATO?
Well, we're sort of edging in that direction. I mean, you have the Americans saying publicly what perhaps they've been talking about behind the scenes for some time, but that is that part of their goal here will be to degrade the Russian military just so that they just aren't capable of performing this kind of operation again, whether it's in Ukraine or elsewhere. And that's something they have not been talked about in public before. So, that is a significant step, and in this case seems to have been taken quite deliberately. And then on the other side, you have the Russians again talking up the nuclear threat. Lavrov saying that this is serious and it needs to be taken seriously. And ultimately, that is the final tool that the Russians have to ensure they aren't defeated in any conflict, which they increasingly say is one not between them and Ukraine, but one between them and NATO, with Ukraine as the proxy. Russia has long had and been very well aware that it has a conventional weapons deficit relative to NATO. It could not win in a conflict with NATO directly, and therefore it relies on its nuclear deterrent.
So, Mark, there were also missile attacks on railways across western and central Ukraine. What does that signal in terms of a change in tactics?
Well, it's essentially you have this build-up and a long front in the east now with a new kind of campaign there. And both sides trying to supply it as fast as they can. So it's critical to the Ukrainians to get the weapons that the Americans and others have promised, the artillery, the tanks, the APCs, all this kind of stuff, the heavy weaponry to fight that kind of campaign, to get it the 1,300 kilometers all the way across from the Polish border or the Slovakian border to the Eastern Front. And the Russians are fully aware of that. And what they're hitting is the transport links, the storage dumps where they think this equipment is being moved, and trying to hit them so that it never reaches the east.